It is time for another episode. Yes, it's Reggie, the Central Florida Notary. How you guys doing? Hopefully all is well. We are at the beginning of another week. Happy Sunday, by the way, for those of you who watch it on Sunday, as soon as it comes out. I want to tell everybody thank you so much for subscribing so far. We are up to 18 subscribers, and we're starting to get a good amount of views. We are on TikTok. You can find me at Eternal Unions on TikTok. Okay, so go and check me out. There are a couple videos up there, and I'll make sure that I put all of those things in the description after the video. So don't worry, you don't have to remember any of what I'm saying. But you know your boy is on Facebook. You know he is on Instagram. You know he's now on TikTok, and I still have my podcast that's up. I haven't done, obviously, any episodes lately because I'm on hiatus. So enough about that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so we can get it out there to the masses, get more people interested so they can get some of the information that's necessary to be able to maybe transition into becoming a notary or wedding officiant or, you know, loan signing agent, whatever they decide. The word of the week is still pivoting, and you know I have still been pivoting towards the weddings, and I actually had a wedding this weekend, and we're going to talk a little bit about today advertising some different companies that I use that have been very, very useful for me. You've heard me go into detail a little bit about it in previous videos, but today I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about, you know, how I advertise, you know, how I created my social media presence and different techniques that I've used to become, to have an online presence. So, you know, we'll talk about that as we go. And, you know, hopefully some of these things are pretty useful to you. And, you know, maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section some of the things that you guys do to stay relevant, I guess, in this industry. I'm still doing loan signings. I have 3 for this month. I did 1 through, which reminds me I need to print out that check because I actually got paid. I did 1 through Notary Go, I think. Yes, I did 1 through Notary Go, and then I had 2 on Express Notary. And I just happened to work out for that, and I haven't really been pushing that too hard. I have been getting an increase of notifications from Notary Go because they do text you. Notary Go does, and that's how I was able to catch the one that I had with them. And I mean the right now, you know, to be straight up and honest, me signing up for these signing services and then going through the bidding process, you know, can be a little cumbersome for me. I guess not cumbersome. It's just not, I don't really want to focus the energy on doing it because it's you want to make sure you get the right rate. You also want to, excuse me, I want to make sure that it's around the time frame that I can actually do the signing, not, you know, where I'm shuffling and I'm having to call out or whatever, or not necessarily call out, but adjust my schedule, do it really early in the morning or late in the afternoon. But, you know, it all does try to work out, but I've kind of leaned a little bit away from that. And that's because of the topics that I've been talking about the last couple of weeks, which has been the weddings. Between last week and now, I actually created a contract, which I will go over with you guys, and I want you guys to tell me what you think in terms of the contract. I thought it was pretty good, and that's what I'm going with. You know, obviously, if it doesn't necessarily work or it's a little tone deaf in certain things, we can always go back, excuse me, to the drawing board and recreate it. You know, this sleepiness is not letting me be great, but I'm gonna push through because, you know, you're always going to be sleepy about something. But yeah, so let's start at the very beginning. So now at the beginning of, you made the decision at this point that you want to become a notary signing agent. wedding officiant, notary, and you want to build an online presence and you don't really know what to do. So for me, to be honest, in the very beginning, I actually created a website. I got this really good deal. The name of the company is called Uni, U-E-N-I. They had a really good promotion going on December of last year, where you pay $149 and it's your website for life. You do your own maintenance, you do your own thing in terms of maintaining the website and adding and removing certain things. And you can, for an additional fee monthly, have where they give you different tips and tricks with how to make your website more robust, right? I did that for a few months. It didn't work out for me because I wasn't getting the return on the investment, a lot of times. And that's sometimes the risk you take, especially with smaller companies, because they're a fairly smaller company, really big over in the UK area, but fairly new to the US market. But it was a lot of times where it was difficult for me to get in touch with an online person, an online person, because it was all done through chat. There wasn't a 1-800 number or anything that I could have reached out to, which was a little frustrating to me. And then, unfortunately, they weren't able to connect my Google page with my website for some reason. They put in a million tickets, and they said something about getting Google's approval to make that happen, and nothing came of it, so I stopped using it. But I say use that at your own risk. That's just the website that I use. I will be putting that in the show notes here, so you guys will be able to reach out, research them. But you can still do websites like Wix.com, GoDaddy. That would allow you to be able to, create your own domain and also have extra features where you can, get emails and stuff like that as well. And that was another thing that I was able to pay for too. That was a part of the package. Where they gave you your own domain name. So it was SocoGarnProductions.com. Now it's something a little longer because I don't have that service anymore. And it also gave me access to emails too. So if I wanted to, have people email me specifically, separate from my personal email, I could do that. Now it's just all personal, and I use the website domain name that they gave me, which is SocoGarn-Productions.uniweb, and that's UENI web.com. I think that's right. It took me a while to remember that. I know a few times I was like, I don't remember. Let's see. Yep, I got it right. SocoGarn-Productions.UENI web.com. So you can go and check out the website. I put it in the show notes as well, so you guys can get a chance to see. They created the framework. I will tell you that the 149. They actually created the skeleton that you see, or the framework that you see, and I've just built off of it. They created the colors and all that other stuff, and it's really easy to edit to be able to get that done. But I don't know what kind of promotion that they have now, but it was a really good promotion at the time. But it's mine for life. It's mine for life, and if I decide that I want to add the monthly service on there and get the domain name, that is something I can do. But right now, it's not. It don't matter. I still get enough websites visits, on average, within the last 30 days. So things are starting to look up on that. So, think about getting a website. It gives people a landing page to be able to go look at your products and services. And you don't want it to be overly like information overload. You don't want to put too much things on there. You don't want to have more than one page. You can have different tabs and stuff. But the thing about that is, you can kind of get lost in going through the process, and that's, kind of makes the experience not, great. Now, I will tell you, since I've had that website, I've only gotten one job off of the website, which, was a general notary work, which was actually right down the street. Made a quick little $50. It was cool. And it doesn't bring in a ton of leads, but it does give people the visual of what they're getting before. Because when I go online, like for example to Thumbtack, which is one of my lead generating sources, which I'm going to talk to you more in the detail about later on, I send them a copy of the script that I normally do, which I got from my friend Courtney Baldwin. Shout out to her. And I will send my website, so they will be able to go and visit and get an idea of what they're looking for before they book me. So because a lot of people out there want to make sure that they're making the right decision, the best decision, and they want to kind of get to know you a little bit before they actually have that conversation. So last week I did have it was a loan signing, and it was a loan modification. I got reached out to on Thumbtack, and the amount that I paid for the lead was $7.35. It was a $60 to $65 job, with mileage included, as well as the amount of stamps. Now that's the way that I do it when it comes to pricing. When it comes to notarization, mileage is a factor. And I do charge flat rates. Like if it's in Orlando, 25, outside of Orlando, Kissimmee area, 35, Davenport, which is Polk County, 45, and so on and so forth. That's the max that I've gone. I don't really go any further than that. I don't go down to Tampa, and I don't really go up too often to Daytona, Volusia County area. So the furthest I've gone is in Sanford. No, the furthest I've gone, I take that back. That was in Deltona. I actually did get a notary work out there. It was a decent amount of money that they paid for. They paid mostly in mileage, really, because they only had one document that they needed to sign. So, I was on Thumbtack. I got that loan signing, and then I also had another. I didn't have a loan signing from the signing services last week. I kind of pulled back a little bit because I was getting a lot of leads on Thumbtack that really didn't turn out too great, with the exception of the one I booked on Tuesday. There was a vow renewal that I booked on Tuesday. And that was really kind of the only thing. I mean, everything else, which I think I'm learning, I'm just having these thoughts as I think about certain things, is that, Thumbtack might not be the greatest because, number one, you're paying per lead, and number two, I think there are a lot of, notary / wedding officiants that are out there really just searching, trying to get information on how much you charge. And I think that they charge you for those leads, because I'll call people and their phone will go straight to voicemail, or, they don't answer. I text them, because you have all that information when you get a direct lead, and, they don't respond. It's been about 6 or 7 of them that I've gotten over the course of the last 4 days, I would say, which has not been great. I don't like that at all. It has definitely made me want to pause Thumbtack, but I'm going to get deeper into how Thumbtack works and kind of give you some perspective in terms of pricing. But your online presence, you can start with the website. You would just have to get a hosting platform to be able to do it. And, definitely invest in getting your domain name, because it's always going to be yours. And you want to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to, incorporate your business and what you decide you want to do if you do the website thing. You also want to make sure that you spend some time in doing Yelp and Google. Now, Yelp is in the very beginning with Yelp, and I think that could have been just them giving me an introduction to try to, entice me to purchase one of their packages, which a lot of these companies, even Google does it too. they'll have these advertising packages where they'll run your ad, and you'll show up in higher places, in their algorithm, because you're paying to, to get more eyes on you, to potentially get more leads, or, signs of business. But very early on with Yelp, I was getting a lot of general notary work in the very beginning. And at the time, I hadn't invested any money in it. It was just, happenstance. I started getting a few calls in the month of June. I think I had about 8 or 9 different general notary work orders that I really didn't have to do a whole lot of marketing for. So I was very excited about that. And I decided to go ahead and pay for the advertising. And I can't really explain how the pricing worked, but I got a call from them saying that they, see, my business, and would I be able to accommodate, an increase in business almost 3 to 4 times. And at the time, I was actually starting to get into the officiating work, or the idea of the officiating work, because I had got some, easy and good news from Courtney when she did the notary meetup. And I was starting to look into that, and they caught me at a moment of vulnerability where I think I lost about $150, $200. Basically, I paid for, they told me, the way they explained it was, we'll just, see what happens. And what we'll do is, there's no contract, and, there's no set price, but, we'll charge you based on the amount of leads that you get, or the amount of visits that you get. And the first 3 weeks, I didn't see any return on investment. I was getting a lot of people that were going to the website, but there weren't a lot of folks that were using Yelp as a place to, request things. I've gotten a lot from Yelp where people will inquire, and then you do follow up and you hear nothing, which I guess is the same as Thumbtack, but it doesn't seem like they're quality leads, or they're, I don't know. Maybe Yelp needs to do some more attention to detail in terms of getting more focused on, getting, I don't know. But it wasn't a great experience in terms of an increase in business. I didn't see any more than what I had already seen. And I was out $200. So, yeah, it didn't quite work. And, now it's just turned into a whole bowl of mess where I get a lot of people that will message me, and then, I had a guy who was like, oh, power of attorney, gave him the price, let's set this up. Oh, I'll get in touch with you next week. Next week came. I followed up maybe 3 or 4 days later, because it was midweek, the week prior. And I heard nothing. So I don't know if he got his power of attorney, or he decided to go and find something else, but they haven't really been generating too many leads as they had in the past. But their idea is you set a budget, and based on that budget you get kind of an idea. Based on that budget, you'll get so many more views and potential leads, and it's supposed to generate revenue for you, obviously, where you are able to touch those customers, go out and all that other stuff. And I know it sounds kind of vague, and that's because it is. But a lot of these lead generating sources, the idea behind it is that they say, the closing is on you. This is where they leave the process. The closing is on you. So whatever reason, after we gave you what you need to get this customer didn't work, it's on you. All we're promising is that we're going to get you in front of more folks. And it's just like, well, that's I don't feel like that's difficult to do. You know what I'm saying? But you're paying to be involved in some type of algorithm, if you will. And we know that damn algorithm don't always It ain't always on our side sometimes. And the fact that you have to pay for it can be a little bit costly, especially for someone who's starting up. It could be very intimidating to, ponder the idea of spending so much money on something that you don't even know how it's going to turn out. But, I did with Yelp. I think I spent a little bit too much time with them, but that was also because I was new. So you're going to have to, spend money to make money sometimes. That's just the reality. Now, Google has been a complete world difference. I've gotten a lot of business from Google. Where I've gotten the reason I've gotten a lot of business from Google is because I have a couple reviews. I have about 5 on there now. It's very difficult for me to get reviews to stick on Google. That wasn't the case before, because Google before, they was like, well, send it to your friends, ask people for referrals and all that other stuff. But yeah, just do it, and we'll post it. But now I've reached that 5 mark, and it's been difficult because I've had 3 people who've said that they've left reviews on Google and they hadn't shown up. And Google has gotten to the point now where they're starting to challenge the validity of the lead, or not lead, but the review, which sucks, because in both instances, on Yelp and on Google, I have way more reviews than what they actually show. On Yelp, I have 1, but I actually have 6, and 5 of them were deemed not useful. And that was because either they didn't have an online presence on Google before, or not Google, but Yelp. They don't have an account. They used a guest account. It's a couple different variables involved in why they don't give you credit for those. And then with Google, the 3, at first we thought it was a glitch because for some reason it wasn't showing. The other 2 people that I know did reviews wasn't showing. And I got confirmation yesterday when I went and I read it that they, in so many words, were saying they will, not show if it's not helpful, or they deem it not helpful. I don't know what their algorithm is with that, but I'm assuming, let's say you're a person that has a yahoo.com website, you don't have a Google one, they probably won't allow that to show, or whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't, beefed up your Google, or you have a Gmail that you use, I think that they're being very selective with how they. So, I should have been asking for reviews before when I was doing the loan signing stuff, but I just didn't do it. It wasn't until late in the game, and we were starting to, it was like in the month of August and July where we weren't getting very many. So it was very few people that I was interacting with and asking them to go get, do reviews. But Google has been a lot better because Google is one of the most common search engines. You probably want to get more into search engine optimization. The little bit that I do know, it's where you get the algorithm on your side by going in and searching your site, or getting your friends to go and search your site, so your business will pop up on the first page. Because the likely chance of someone finding you and you're further back, they're not going to want to go. They're not going to go that far to find you. So, and all that really requires is going to going to Google, searching your name periodically, going to Yahoo, searching your work or your business name periodically, and letting it pop up to, get that algorithm on your side. Let's go look. I'm going to show you guys mine real quick. Because I've been working on this since, I would say, probably May time frame. And it may come up on my phone because, it's my phone. It already recognizes that I'm the business owner. I manage this. I think this is skewed in some way, shape, or form. Because it knows it's me. But you guys can't see it, or maybe you can. The very first one here is, where is it through? Thumbtack. So let's click on it. And we're going to talk about the Thumbtack here in a second. That's me. Notarization, $10. Check availability. About this pro, you can go in and kind of do that. Create it, check the availability. And this is some things about my particular business. You guys can't really see it because it's backwards, but about this pro, I put this in. My focus is the customer experience. With over 20 years of sales and customer service, I'm willing to go above and beyond to ensure my customer satisfaction. I am looking forward to doing business with you. And then I was hired 6 times. I serve a COE. I've been background checked, and there's 2 employees, which was me and my husband. And then just other information like price comparison, reviews, all that other stuff. My recommendation is definitely get reviews, because the more reviews you have on Thumbtack, the better you're going to do. But Google is free. Google doesn't charge. Yelp doesn't charge. You can pay for advertising packages, but I say be leery. Do your research. I don't think investing in it, because they want you to have a certain budget in mind, and if it's not the budget they feel that you should do, then they won't allow you to either move forward, or they'll tell you, hey, your budget is not enough, so you need to increase it. So it sucks that you have to pay to get in the algorithm, and if it's something that's beneficial to you, I say why not do it. So Google and Yelp are going to be the easiest and the most cost effective way to go, because there's no startup fee, and there's no startup fee for Thumbtack either. To create a profile online, you do have to pay per lead though. So yeah, Google and Yelp are free to create. So yeah, get that done. The process in terms of getting listed can be a little cumbersome. My client that I work with, we did hers last week, and for some reason she's not showing up in the system. I don't know why. So we're going to figure that out today when I get a chance to, when we go down there. My appointment is at 10:30 with her. So at Starbucks. So Google, Yelp, free. Thumbtack, free also. Thumbtack is a search engine. You guys just saw I came up with Eternal Unions on Thumbtack. Part of that reason, let me see, part of that reason, I think, has a couple different factors. Number one, I have a 5-star rating with the 15 reviews I've done. Okay, so that's good. That's one thing. They consider me a top pro. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that my rating is 5.0. I filled out the profile completely. There's different questionnaires that you gotta fill out to answer questions about your favorite project. What do customers need to know? What do you ask of your customer when they work do business with you? I think all those things kind of put you on a higher link. And then the fact that my budget is unlimited with Eternal Unions and Reggie's Mobile Notary Services, and what that means is basically I have a certain amount that I will pay per lead. 9 times out of 10 it comes below the amount that I set, which when it comes to weddings, my pay per lead amount is $20, no more than 20. And then on Notary, I think it's 15, no more than $15. So they try to create, with what you're willing to pay, and all of the leverage, the reviews and your website and all that other stuff, to really be able to put you in an algorithm that's going to get more eyes on you, right? So I remember in the very beginning when I first got on Thumbtack, there were a few leads that I paid for, and I would pause it from time to time, and then I would, add it back on, pause it. When I paused it, you could literally tell how cut and dry, them leads weren't coming in at all, and then as soon as I turned it back on, they would give me little tips and stuff about, here's some low competitive areas competition areas that you can go into and get business. Here's some other things that will increase your visibility. Here's what you can do in this particular area. Add more pictures. Go out and request some more reviews. All those things is what they recommend. And responds in about 3 hours. Well, that's probably because I got a lead overnight. If it's overnight, I'm sleeping, so you ain't gonna get me to respond right away. But yeah, and I think the amount of times that you're hired on Thumbtack too also does play a role in the algorithm thing of it all. And the more that you're hired, the better you look, and I think that also adds an increase. But if you have an unlimited budget, which I don't have an unlimited budget, I have it on unlimited, which means I'm willing to pay for whatever leads that I get. Whatever, as long as it doesn't go beyond my price. Like, I don't want to pay $35-$45 for a lead. Like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, or I don't want to do that, because I can see my, amount dwindle in my business account, and I ain't balling out of control. You know what I'm saying? I might have 11 weddings booked already, but I ain't balling out of control. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing my best to maintain. But what I do like about Thumbtack is when you do get a lead, you get all the information involved in that customer. So you get their phone number. What I typically do, I do 3 touch points. The first touch point is to respond to the message on Thumbtack. And I send a little template that I have, like I said, I got from Courtney. And then I leave my website on. The second thing that I do is I call them. If they don't answer right away, I leave a voicemail. Once I leave a voicemail, I'll hang up and I'll text them. So that's my third touch point. And at that point, I just wait. In between those forms of communication, reaching out to them, they will have reached out. If they're really serious about what they're doing, they will have reached out and, contacted you to say, oh, yeah, I'm interested. I do a quick little 15-minute consultation. Consultation is free. And then I talk to them about what the pricing is going to be and try to get their buy-in. And then I was like, all right, well, at the end of this, it sounds like, you're ready to move forward. I'm going to go ahead and send an invoice. And, if you guys are ready to move forward, or you decide that I am the one that you want to be your wedding officiant, the only thing I require is 50% down for your services. And then after the 50%, your remaining balance doesn't need to be paid in full until 2 days prior to. These are stipulations that I've added last minute because, I don't like getting paid day of. I don't like the idea of getting paid day of after the ceremony. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer to get paid, more. And I really don't like cash transactions either, but you have to be flexible in the way in which you do business. So I do have other platforms. Right now I'm using Square. Eventually I'm going to be transitioning over to Clover, through PNC, because I just want to have a more streamlined platform, and I feel comfortable with using my bank as opposed to using other platforms to do so. So, but Square you'll kind of run into that same situation that you run with PayPal, because that's who I started with, which eventually they look at their algorithm and they'll start holding your money too. And I don't want nobody to hold my money. I want my money right in. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you're going to have to pay transaction fees, because that's what, small businesses happen. That's what happens when, the bigger companies, they pay that Visa fee. They pay that MasterCard fee in order to run the transaction. So I obviously know that that's going to be something I'll have to pay in order to do it and use their platform. So, but yeah, Thumbtack, where it starts to get costly is what I was stating in the beginning, where you get so many leads, and I think some of those leads aren't valid leads. They were probably notaries or wedding officiants trying to see how much they charge. see how much you charge. Like I said, I had an increase of the last 4 days. I've had 2 to 3 leads a day, and 2 to 3 leads. No, that's not 100. Yesterday I had 2. I think Friday I had 2 more. So 2 for, let's say 20 per lead, 20, 40, 60, 80. $80 I done spent on leads that really aren't the greatest, because I done reached out to them. No response, or it's been like a lukewarm kind of thing. I think that Thumbtack may need to do, ask one question like, how serious or how soon are you looking for this to happen? Or how serious are we just quoting at this point? I think the quoting aspect should be, because if that's the case, then we shouldn't be charged if they're just quoting. You know what I'm saying? We should only be charged if they, book with you. But that's their thing. They're definitely giving me a little bit more visibility than I would have gotten any otherwise. So I'm kind of happy about that. But yeah, that is not something that, it can be expensive. This week alone, I've spent $161, and I've made $161. And let's put it in perspective. Okay, $161, and I made, no, $161 was paid, and I made $400. So $239. I'm netting. I'm still, it's a profit, but I mean, that's over. It's not quite. It's a little less than half. I don't know the exact percentage of what it is, but I'm not happy with that. Especially with how frequent I'm getting leads, and I don't want to turn it off, because then if I turn it off, then I'm not getting leads, and it's just, obviously I have more to think about when it comes to that. What else? So Thumbtack, I do have the knot and wedding wire. The knot and wedding wire, you do a 12-month term with them. You pay a certain amount per month, and they don't charge you per lead. You just also get in their algorithm too. It is different per person how much each person pays. I pay monthly $125 for both the wedding wire and the knot. I have about 6 leads on wedding wire, or 6 leads on wedding wire, maybe 8 leads on the knot. I have not booked one. And I think that, I don't know. I don't know the reason. But the good thing about it is I can reach out to them and kind of, they can give me some tips and pointers. They do have live people that work for them. But you have to do a contract with them. You got to do a contract. And that can be intimidating, especially if you're a small business person and you just made the decision that you want to, come into it and you want to start to advertise. That might not be something right away to do. I went full speed ahead because I knew that I wanted the wedding thing to take off. But again, let's put it in perspective. I've only really been advertising that I'm a wedding officiant since July, mid part of July. I've booked 9 weddings. No, I've booked 8. No, I've completed 4 actual weddings, and I have 8 weddings that are booked. I have 1 next Saturday. It is a vow renewal, which I do vow renewals also. But all these things really helped in terms of creating and building my online presence. I do have Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, which I told you guys about, and those things help too to get some visibility on it. And it wasn't all. This wasn't something that I like right off the bat knew. This was things that I've learned over time, just with people that I've interacted with, and getting to know different people and seeing what they do and seeing what works for them, right? Like, for example, Ayana the Crafty Notary, Google is her thing. Like, she gets a lot of remote online notaries from Google. I get a lot of mine from Thumbtack, which I wish I would get them on Google, because Google, I ain't paying for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying monthly or I'm not paying per lead. It's just exposure. People see it. Now, I have gotten a couple leads from Google, but I have not gotten as many wedding leads as I've gotten in Thumbtack. It happens. So, you fuck with the one that fucks with you the most. And Thumbtack is fucking with me right now. They're fucking with me hard. And they've given me quite a bit. I think I've made almost, $2,000 in just wedding revenue alone. Which is good. Don't get too many general notary works. I do sometimes, but like maybe once every blue moon. Nothing like extraordinary. So, that's that. We're at 41 minutes here now, guys, and I actually need to go and actually meet up with my client who's at 10:30. So I'm going to be uploading this video a little bit later. I'm going to upload it, and then once I upload it, I'm just thinking out loud. Well, anyway, with that being said, I hope this video has been useful. It's just been a barrage of my thoughts on certain things. I hope that it's helpful and useful to you. If it is, please let me know in the comments. If it's not, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So that's been Central Florida Notary, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.